Demi Moore is reportedly among several A-list celebrities whose names could surface as more evidence emerges from the ongoing investigations. Allegedly, the federal authorities have obtained compromising videos from Diddy's mansion, which could expose further misconduct. Courtney Burgess, a close friend of Diddy's late ex-wife Kim Porter, has reportedly handed over 8 additional tapes to the FBI and has already been called to testify before a grand jury. These developments have intensified the scrutiny around Hollywood elites, leaving many anticipating what might come to light next.
Statements include descriptions of what the witness says he saw on those tapes. So I asked him about that, and he answered what he could, given the limitations imposed on him after testifying before the grand jury. Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
2 males. And of those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if they were.
Every celebrity, politician, athlete, CEO, and producer connected to Diddy and alleged to be complicit in his actions is reportedly on the verge of being exposed.
Right.
Sure.
Appear to
Let me
be
rephrase
right,
it.
Based on, yes.
Understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appear to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8, how many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think all, to be honest, all.
Were victims
They
or
victims.
were perpetrating?
Victims.
They were all 8 were victimized,
Yeah,
meaning
victim.
this was happening to them and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing, I guess, how much proof it was in it, what they was doing.
The potential arrests are expected to send shockwaves through Hollywood, bringing much-needed attention to a long-standing culture of misconduct in the industry. This issue has persisted for decades, with even veteran actors like Tom Hanks speaking out about the prevalence of individuals like Jeffrey Epstein and Harvey Weinstein.
The idea that there are sexual predators in power, not just in Hollywood, I think in all across any place there's a boss with underlings in any corporation or any industry, you have a type of sexual politics that goes on that can slide in between appropriate ethics and decorum to, inappropriate behavior to the point of harassment and sexual predatory behavior.
Well, I mean, I think people understand that, but the larger question is there a culture of complicity in Hollywood where women are afraid to speak up because they'll be blacklisted?
The discussion highlights the pervasive fear and silence in Hollywood, where both women and men hesitate to speak out. Women are often afraid to voice their concerns due to the risk of being blacklisted, while men remain silent either from the same fear or because they believe it's simply the way the system operates. There are individuals who argue that this is just how the industry functions, that the power dynamics are the foundation of success. However, complicity is equally harmful, as those who are aware of these practices and choose to ignore or justify them are also responsible for maintaining this broken system.
Men are afraid to speak up because either they're out of the same fear or they just think, well, this is the way the system works.
I think there are people that say, hey, this is how it works, pure and simple, and this is why I got into it, and this is why I have power. This is how it works, and you have to understand that. That does not carry the day. Complicity is also complicity. The people who know, well, look, this is how we do business, and that's what it's got to be done. I'm sorry it's like that. So beware. That's also present, without a doubt, but it does not carry the day. There's also people that were afraid to speak out, who were victims, that did not go forward, that signed, negotiated settlement deals of which a non-disclosure agreement was part and parcel to it. That also does not carry the
With 36 civil lawsuits now on the way and Tony Busby outlining the abuse that occurred in Hollywood due to Diddy and his alleged co-conspirators, it seems like justice may finally be served. The accusations against Diddy are especially disturbing, involving minors as young as 7 years old. Like Demi Moore, these minors were reportedly provided to Diddy by their parents. It's shocking that those who entrusted their children to such individuals appeared to turn a blind eye, driven by greed and a willingness to ignore the harm being caused.
to name people in these lawsuits. We're not going to do it in interviews. We're not going to do it, without doing our due diligence, because obviously, these types of allegations are very hurtful to people if they're not true, and very hurtful, frankly, if they are true. But if they're true, you shouldn't have been in the room and you shouldn't have been participating. So I anticipate that we're going to start filing lawsuits, and it may not be big names at first, but we have a long list of names, and you might imagine in situations like this that when a victim.
Tony Busby, speaking with Piers Morgan on Uncensored, addressed the gravity of the allegations, acknowledging that they are painful, whether true or false. He emphasized that if the accusations are true, those involved should not have been in the room or participating in such acts. Busby also revealed that lawsuits are forthcoming, though the initial names may not be as high profile. However, they have a long list of individuals to investigate. He stressed the importance of thorough due diligence before filing, as public filings in the U.S. are accessible, and naming someone in a lawsuit inevitably brings media attention.
Tells us that this person was in the room or this person participated. We want to do as much due diligence as humanly possible before we file that case, because in the United States, in almost every state, public filings are in fact public. And when you name somebody in a lawsuit, the press is going to pick it up, and we're aware of that. So we're going to make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's, and I expect that there will be some people named in these lawsuits that will raise some eyebrows.
Another minor told allegedly by Sean Combs that he would make him a star, but needed to visit with him in private about it, away from his parents. Once they were in a private area, allegedly Mr. Combs made the victim perform oral sex upon him. Another incident, an individual 15 years old at the time, flown to New York City to attend a party, was drugged and then taken into a private room, allegedly in the presence of Mr. Combs, where this female individual, minor, was raped, and then other individuals took turns raping her. Another individual, 26 at the time of the occurrence.
In addressing the public, Tony Busby spoke about the disturbing allegations involving Diddy, describing an incident where an individual was reportedly picked up by a black SUV, given a drink, and later woke up with no memory of the events, experiencing physical pain and injuries. This person was also found to be missing personal belongings, including their shoes and underwear, and was taken to the hospital for medical attention. Busby also mentioned another case involving an adult who allegedly attended a group dinner with Diddy and others, hinting at further troubling circumstances surrounding these situations.
Was picked up allegedly by Mr. Combs and several other people in a black SUV from the airport. Was given one drink in the SUV and then literally woke up the next day not knowing what had happened, but with pain and damage to both her vagina and her anus, where she then went to the hospital. She was missing her underwear and her shoes. Another instance, an individual, this time not a minor, attended a group.
The allegations suggest that individuals like Demi Moore and Usher, who are accused of enabling Diddy's actions by allegedly allowing minors to be abused, are about to be exposed for their role in perpetuating these harmful behaviors. According to these claims, they are just as responsible as Diddy for the abuse, as their involvement allowed him to continue his alleged actions unchecked. The silence surrounding Diddy's power and the leverage he held over minors was reportedly supported by people like Moore and Usher, who are said to have used their influence to facilitate these abuses, contributing to a culture of misconduct in Hollywood.